London, 1888. Fog chokes the alleys of Whitechapel. A woman screams, and silence follows. By morning, her body lies mutilated, and the killer? Gone without a trace. They called him Jack the Ripper, a ghost in human form. No witnesses, no mercy, no face. Tonight, we reopen the case the world could never close and search for the truth buried in the fog of Victorian London. Victorian London, a city of shadows and smoke. The rich rode in carriages, while the poor drowned in filth and desperation. Whitechapel, in the city's East End, was a maze of poverty, crime, prostitution, and misery. In the autumn of 1888, that misery turned to terror. Between August and November, 5 women, all working-class prostitutes, were found murdered in horrifying ways. Their throats slit, organs removed, and bodies left displayed, as if the killer wanted the world to see his work. The newspapers called it the Whitechapel Murders. But one letter changed everything. On September 27, 1888, the Central News Agency received a letter. It began with the words, "Dear Boss," and ended with a chilling signature, "Yours truly, Jack the Ripper." That was the first time the world ever heard that name. The letter mocked the police, described future killings, and even promised to clip the lady's ears off. 2 days later, a body was found, ears mutilated. Coincidence? Or proof the writer was the killer himself? The police dismissed the letter as a hoax, yet the signature, Jack the Ripper, stuck, and the legend was born. Mary Ann Nichols, August 31st. Annie Chapman, September 8th. Elizabeth Stride, September 30th. Catherine Eddowes, the same night, within minutes. Mary Jane Kelly, November 9th, 1888. 5 women, each attack more brutal than the last. The final one, Mary Jane Kelly, was so mutilated that even seasoned detectives broke down at the scene. The precision of the cuts led many to believe the killer had medical training. A doctor, a surgeon, maybe even someone who performed autopsies for a living. But if so, why target poor women of Whitechapel? Scotland Yard launched one of the biggest manhunts in British history. Hundreds of detectives, thousands of interviews, but no arrest. Every lead vanished in the London fog. There were witnesses, faint, terrified, unreliable. A man with a black coat, a top hat, a briefcase. Descriptions that fit half the men in London. And the police? Constantly sabotaged by the press. Each newspaper invented its own theory, from insane doctors to Jewish immigrants, feeding the public hysteria. Whitechapel turned into a hunting ground, not just for the killer, but for anyone who looked suspicious. Over the years, hundreds of suspects have emerged, but only a few truly stand out. 1. Montague John Druitt, a barrister and schoolteacher who vanished right after the final murder and was later found drowned in the Thames. Some police officials privately believed he was the Ripper. 2nd, Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant and barber. He suffered from mental illness, hated women, and lived in Whitechapel. In 2014, modern DNA analysis on a shawl allegedly linked to one victim pointed to Kosminski's genetic line, but the evidence was never verified scientifically. Third, Sir William Gull, the royal physician. According to one theory, the Ripper killings were part of a royal cover-up to silence women who knew about an illegitimate royal child. This theory, known as the royal conspiracy, gained popularity through books and films, but historians call it fiction. Fourth, the artist, Walter Sickert, a painter obsessed with the murders. His art depicted gruesome scenes resembling the Ripper crimes. Even crime novelist Patricia Cornwell claimed to prove his guilt using DNA. But again, the proof was circumstantial. Every suspect had motive, means, or madness, but no one ever matched all three. Some believe Jack the Ripper was a team, not one man. Others think he was a policeman, using his authority to move unnoticed through the slums. There's even speculation that the murders were ritualistic, meant to send a hidden message. The alignment of crime scenes forming symbols on a map of London. But among the chaos of theories, one fact remains. After the final murder in November 1888, the killings stopped. No more letters, no more bodies, just silence and questions that would never be answered. So who was he, really? Most modern criminologists point to Aaron Kosminski, the mentally ill Polish barber. He lived in the heart of Whitechapel, fit witness descriptions, hated women, and worked with sharp razors daily. He was eventually institutionalized, and after that, the murders ended. Was he the true Ripper? Maybe, but the evidence is too weak for a final verdict. Others insist the killer was a man of status, shielded by power. His he didn't just kill 5 women. He murdered the peace of an entire city. More than a century later, Jack the Ripper still rules the shadows. His name became a symbol of fear, fascination, and the darkness that hides inside civilization itself. London has changed. Whitechapel is no longer drowning in fog. But sometimes, when the streets grow quiet and the night turns cold, you can almost hear his footsteps again. Because monsters like him never really disappear. They just find new streets to walk. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing videos.